Welcome to the Chilijack patch 1.73 tier list. I am your host, XKume, and let's just get into it. They're in no particular order. So let's see. I felt like Rich Chili, it's like a balanced card, but I would say all the dining effect chilies that involve hand messing with your hand at all, I find it kind of felt clunky. And by that, I think I specifically mean Treasure Chest and Rich Chili. Like, Rich Chili's fine, but I think the math has been a little weird to work out. I kind of wonder if he could be reworked to, like, do your hottest or something, but that's, like, what Yeti does. But I think Yeti's kind of a bad card anyway. So, Birthday Cake has been really hard to place. Because, like, the only time I've seen it be good is when the thing with Birthday Cake is I almost every time I've seen it, they almost get it every time or they get it never. Like, you don't see the back and forth very often, I think. Which I don't know if that's a design flaw necessarily, or if there's a way to make it more consistent or something. But heat-wise with it, I think heat-wise, it might be a little bit low. But I also don't value card draw as much, I think, nearly as much as you do. Like, I think pickled peppers, there's no way it should be at 0 heat. Like, if you, like, I think a card draw is worth about 1.5 heat. And that's partly why before, like, Captain Blackheart was good at, like, 5 or 6 heat. I think because it was hitting that breakpoint in between. So, like, if we look at old... I know you were trying to balance it around the Steely Chili, and, like, in this patch, it does something different. I know you just reworked it. I do like the rework. But Steely Chili, I think balance-wise, if you was just draw one card, I think a vanilla chili that just draws one card should be about 5 or 6 heat, because it's like 1.5. So one that draws 2, 7 minus 3 is 4. That's why I think it felt okay at 4. At 0, I think it's unplayable, almost. Unless you're really digging. Cybernetic has felt really strong. For Cybernetic, I think play pattern wise and like value wise, it's very similar to Potion, wherever that is. Yeah, Chili Potion. I think these pretty much do the same thing and should probably have the same heat. I don't know if that means cosmic, or I don't know if that means this one goes down or this one goes up, but like to me it feels like they do the same thing, which makes Chili Potion slightly worse. Because they're both basically like do a battle cry or a grill on your thing. And that's kind of why I felt like Chili Charger could have gone up too. Although I think if you think Chili Charger is balanced at 3, they're not quite the same, right? Because it costs the board slot. But like, I don't think the board slot is worth like 1 heat necessarily. Like, to me, these three cards do a very similar thing. So might want to be closer. Run Chili's felt okay. I don't think we would change it anyway. Frost Mantras felt good. I like it a lot. The thing about Professor Pepper's fine. I know I mentioned it a bit before, but like, I strongly feel like it should be a reveal card instead of secretly. I think that makes the card overall more fun because it makes every player involved. And it's almost even more exciting for all the players. Because they could be like, oh, is he going to choose that one? And it's almost like you can feel excited if you think they chose the wrong card almost. Like you have input into that as another player just watching. I think that's fun. That is lost. I don't think the knowledge of the card is all that important to share either. So, Chili Candle. I would say slightly weak. It doesn't do a lot most of the time. Could it go up to 5 heat? Maybe. Could it go up to 6 heat? Because if you think about it, it's basically like drawing a card in the old format where you discarded your hand at the end of the turn, almost. Where it's like, it's a scry. Like the old draw was a scry. Scrying every turn. I think on average you're gonna, unless you get, I think if you play this turn 1, right, you're only gonna get a scry twice. I think that makes it sort of like a draw 2 of the old system, and I think a draw 2 of the old system was worth 6 heat. Like, I thought, the old Pot of Greed card, the old draw 2, Chili Agreed, that felt good to me at 6 in the old system. So I think Chili Candle could go up. Although, like, if you want 4s, and it feels fine. Bell Pepper. Yeah, bell peppers felt decent. The chilies has felt good. Cafes felt good. Black card's good. Chaos chili. I would say this felt good to play. One True Chili. One True Chili needs the rework. Did it get that yet? No. It needs to not have its heat set to 21. Like, this needs to be a win the game chili. Otherwise, it's like... This only wins the game with, like, one of the dishes of the day, right? Right now? So... Like, with such a strong effect, hard effect to pull off, it needs to be, like, it needs to win you the game. Like, and which is what it was supposed to do, right? It just hasn't been reworked yet. Chef Chili's felt kind of middling. I like the effect, though. I think that the summoners have landed in a good spot. It was 5 and 3. Right, because they're revealing that many. I think they've felt alright. They kind of feel like they fall more into the camp now of RNG fixtures, sort of like the old freezing cards were. More than, like, the summon effects. Like, I mean, obviously summon's on the game, so they kind of have to be. Mime has felt good. I think Mime does roughly the same thing. No, sorry, that was the old chef. This chef... And maybe I need to play more overall with the newer cards still, I'll say. But this is more like intuitive. I think you had them land at a pretty decent place so far. I think the reworked Chili is good, by the way, too. If I didn't say that already. So Billy, when grilled, trash in a chili and opponent's play with 3 or less heat, they draw 1 chili. I think Chibili can target a higher heat. Especially with the draw there already. Like, it's only a 5 heat swing. I guess you're trying to make it target only like good dining effects, right? Or something now. I think having it be able to target something for its heat value is still valid. Paint Chili has felt kind of... its ability just feels a little weird to me, like a little clunky. I'd say it's weak. I don't know if I should put in it. Should I put in a D tier? Nah, my C tier is pretty much my D tier right now. Sonic Chilies felt good. I think... has it? Sonic Chili? I almost want to... well, the thing about every card, right, is like... there's a bottom range of... there's like a range of heat and effects that I think it could be good at. Usually it's like between 2 of heats, like, a 5 or 6. Sometimes it's between 3. Like 4 through 6. I think Side Chili could go up, but that's also because I think I rate card draw still pretty low. I think Side Chili could be 6. The same way I thought that, like, Blackheart could be 6. Like, Blackheart to me has felt good at 6. Even before. I think with that in mind, I think I would... like, if I were to say that, that's why I kind of think Potion could go up. I think 4 is good with Chef. These felt good too. There'll be more later on, I think, that'll be along that same lines. Like pickled peppers. Boba. I think Boba's weak. It could go up. I think it could either draw more or have more heat. Or both. I think it could be 3 and 3. Maybe. But I underrate... I don't think card draw is that good. Well, part of it is why is like... card draw in Chilijack isn't as good as card draw in other games because you're still only limited to 1 chili per turn. Like, there's value in having the extra option, but like, since something like Hearthstone, right? If you draw 2 cards, you can play them both, sometimes in the same turn. Same thing with the... I don't know about Yu-Gi-Oh, but, Magic, same thing. So, card draw is just more valuable in other games. Here, it pretty much is only limited to having the extra option. So, I think it's... card draw as an effect is pretty weak. I like how... I think the gameplay of Almighty Chili's been, like, kind of fun. I like how it's, like... before, it used to be, because, like, a way to negate summon effects, but now it's just, like... if they plate before you, you just get them. 5 heat? Has 5 heat felt good with it? I think so. I think it's on the strong end of, like, that range I was talking about. That makes it good. Chili and peas felt good. Gambit? I think Gambit's effect is a little bit clunky, and I think... I don't know if you've noticed it too, but players get confused by... I don't know if it's just the wording of the ability, but something about the ability. Like, I don't know if you remember them. Sometimes they'll go like, oh, hotter? Or something like that. So I think, if not an effect change, at least maybe more clear wording. I'm not sure what, though. I don't want to speculate here for the sake of time. Chili Caveman. I still think it's a little weird that he's, like, drawing a card because he's a caveman, but, like, it's funny that he's, trashing something from your hand. And it's, like, because it's net neutral, I can see why it's 7. That pretty much, like, that kind of compares to Chili Guy, which, you know, of course is our benchmark. Does that mean he's too good? Should he be 6? With a draw 1, trash a random 1, that's like slightly better than nothing. I think if you're going off the benchmark that Chili Guy is like a 7, then this should probably be a 6. Because you're only going to play it when it's like a good effect or you need the heat, which is, you know, good. Chili Cowboy. I think I've already discussed at a pretty big length about why I don't like its ability. I can try to elaborate more again if you want, but the gist of it though is it doesn't really feel like you're dueling to me or like gambling at all. It just kind of feels like you play it when you're ahead, and then if you're the opponent, you kind of just, there's nothing you can if you have a full hand of negative heat chilies, it doesn't really feel like you're doing anything. You know what I mean? Like there's no counter play to it, and so I kind of think maybe that means like reworking it a little bit, but. Chess said, like we already said it to 4. I think it's good at 4. That makes sense. Chili donut. When grilled, stack this chili under one of your chilies, then play another empty from your hand. I think that's felt. I think it's felt a little weak. Could it go to 3? Probably shouldn't. I think it's on the... I think it could. But it is like the old Chimba. I think... No, I think number-wise, 2 makes sense. But I think gameplay-wise for me, and maybe this is just random variance, I feel like it's been on the weaker side. Take that for what you will. Chili coin. I think chili coin makes sense at 2 if you're playing it for draw. Let's see. If you're drawing half, maybe no. I think at 2 it's probably weak, isn't it? if I'm being consistent with my how I'm drawing not being good, because you're drawing what? Like, let's see. You're drawing, if you play at turn 1, you're drawing, what, like 2 cards? No, not even. You draw, because it draws half a card on average. So you're drawing 1 card. That makes it so weak. Yeah, that's really weak. I can see why it's 2 for flavor, but one grilled and the top of the chili chubbers is felt good, I think. Chili egg. Like compare egg. You can compare egg directly to donut. And it just seems worse, doesn't it? Because you get to keep the 2 heat. Was chili egg too busted at like getting to choose your own? That's what wrench does, right? And wrench lets you trash anything for 1 less heat. Like, I think that makes chili egg worse. I think chili egg should go up then, shouldn't it? Like if I think chili donuts felt like kind of good, maybe a little weak, and chili egg is worse. Chili designer. Grill, trash the chili on your plate, and reveal the top 2 chilies of the deck. Stack one on it and place it under your plate. Right, because you're choosing the heat of the ability. I think that's felt alright. Chili cone. Chili cone has felt weird to me because I don't think... It's one of the only prep chilies that's still a tempo loss, you know? Like, should this do what Flomy does? And summon a card? Makes me wonder. But like right now, I don't think I'm ever happy to see this show up, and I would never play this card. Unless I'm literally overheating. You know, Chili Goat's the goat. Is what it is. Chili guy. This felt good. Chili dating app. I kind of miss the old ability because I don't hate this. I think it's balanced, but it doesn't feel as flavorful to me as the old ones were. Like it doesn't like the swap doesn't really make sense for like dating, I guess, to me, as much as the other ones did. Chili Dragon, yes sir. Could be our first S. I think it might be. Let's put, let's the Chili Dragon be their first S. Because a lot of the times, like, you play it if it's good for you, which is like if you have, a 3 or less heat chili, it's already chili guy or better in terms of heat value. And if it takes more than that off your opponent, then it's just good. Like, when grilled, stack the chili under chili on your plate. I feel like Great Sword could be 7, for the same reason that these are 7. It's a mostly neutral effect that does something, like, neat, but, like... It's basically a chili guy, but you wear him. So, I think he should be 7. He's felt okay at 6, but that's because, like, I think a vanilla... He's felt about as good as a vanilla 6 would, I think. I don't think the synergies have felt that common enough to make it not worth it to change it up. If you feel strongly about 6, I could see it. I think its range, because of the synergies, like 6 is fine. But, 6 or 7. 6 or 7. It's close. I think it's close to me. I think it's close for me. Chili Gator. When grilled, stack the mindless chili on your plate under this chili. Yes, sir. And I do... So I think what cards like Chili Gator and I think a couple others were telling me is that, like, losing out on a chili on your tray is worth about 1 extra heat on the card itself. If I am feeling that right. Chili Scar. When prepped, stack this chili under any chili on a plate. Chili. That's an interest. This almost feels like chili cone to me, where it's like, it's better because it's not a tempo loss. I like the effect. I don't think you want it to slow down games though that much, because like if you're prepping it, it stacks and gets rid of itself on your tray, and it could also kill an opponent's chili, so it kind of slows the game down by a turn. So I don't think you actually want this to be much stronger. 8-bit chili, I think this is a downside. I've played it. It's fine. It's fine. How? When prepped, treasure chili from your hand to draw one chili. Would it be more flavorful for Chili Vision to have the chili candle or no? Because then like you're actually like seeing the top of the deck, like maybe. Oh, the candle lights the way. They kind of it's fine. When prepped, trash a chili from your hand to draw one chili. I feel like that's a little weak. Yeah. It's a little weak. I would give it a C plus B minus. Maybe that's what I need like the C and D tiers for, but we're close. Let's see, Chimba. Like Chimba's another one where it's like, flavor wise we wanted it to have one heat, and like the effect kind of is interesting enough to carry it. People will play. There are some cards that people will play regardless of the heat that they have. Sort of like old Santa with like the gifting, I think. At least I played Santa pretty much every time. Chimba's good now. At 4, I think. I feel like I had a point there that I lost, but when prepped, you may stack a chili with 4 less heat from your hand onto this chili. Because it's supposed to be like, usually if you play a turn 1, you get to activate it twice. I think you're activating it twice, so you get to go over the 7 heat barrier if you have 2 4s. But how often do you have 2 4s? Not often. I don't think... Would it be too strong if it were 5 or less? I think you even suggested something like that, too. Like, I think slime felt weak to you slightly. I think overall, for me, a lot of the prepping chilies feel weak. Chili Wall is an exception. Chili Wall is good. When grill would be on the opponent's hand. Stack the ballast chili from the heat under this chili. That's pretty weak. But, that's another one where it's kind of like flavor-wise, you kind of want it to be 1 heat. And then also you're stealing an opponent's card, so you kind of doubly want it to be weak. Chili Engineer, I feel like if we're going off of the 7 heat thing, like it should be 5 or less. Or at the very least, like 6 or less. Like 7 or less, he's just a free 9 drop. 6 or less can make maybe you pay for some sort of like, I don't know, flexibility about having it over 2 bodies, but I feel like 7 is too high. Chiquili, I think, is weak. I think Chiquili could go up to 4 heat, if or more. Like, I'm on average, you're drawing what, like maybe 1.5 cards. That means it could go up to like 5, or I think at least 4 though. And 4 I think makes flavor too, because that way the things that you're drawing are the chicks, and they're less than the Chiquili's heat. So that's that, and then that makes them actual chicks. When grilled, stack the chili on the dish of the day to add its heat, and draw 2 chilies. I think fairly weak for the same reasons I've been saying. Cursed chili's been. There's nothing I would change about cursed chili. I think cursed chili could be -7. Do you want it to be -7? Maybe not, because it's kind of unfun for that other player sometimes. Chilichanga. Well, we'll put it in A tier. Chilichanga is still very strong. You know what? I think it's an S tier card still. It might. I think Chilichanga could lose a few heat. Like even down to like 8. I know you want the math to be easy with 10, but Chili Shoot, I think has felt kind of weak to me for the same reason that like Greatsword has felt a little weak. And I think Chili Shoot is basically a Chili Greatsword that you just, it's a less flexible Chili Greatsword. If anything, that means Chili Shoot should have more heat than Greatsword, right? Chili Knight. I feel like Chili Knight's still pretty freaking strong. I think it's a little weird that they draw a card too, like flavor-wise. Well, is there anything I would change about him? I think I just like the number 10 a lot better, but there's not a whole lot of 10s anymore. Is there? It's mostly 8s. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. How many more does 9 add? It adds Rex. Oh, I think I missed TNT before. It adds Rex. Literally just Rex. I don't like the number 9 aesthetically. I think I'd rather it be 8 or 10. And I guess there's also a lot more stack effects now. And I think if you did make it trash 8, you would maybe just lower the heat some. And I don't... The draw on it kind of feels weird too. I know it's to like make it feel less punishing, but I think I'd rather just balance around it not having the draw. And I think it just feels more elegant. Ruby. I think Ruby is kind of in the same category as Goat, where it's like not... You don't want it to have more than 1 heat, I think, right? Just for flavor. I mean, you could even have it be 0. Right? Because it's like a ruby. I think if you wanted it to have like actual heat value, I think if it weren't like, I think balance wise, it could have like 4 heat, and that makes it pretty much the old Chili treasure chest. I thought the old Chili treasure chest being 4 heat and draw 4 if it was trashed by a Chili was balanced. So I think Ruby Chili is pretty weak. Winning grill, trash and what's on Chili and plate that was placed in it. Chili Copters felt pretty alright, but like I don't like the ability that much. It kind of just feels a little weird to have them summon it immediately. Like that's not as much of a kill effect as like it feels weird for a Chili Copter to be doing that, I guess, to me. Or like, you know, I think Chiligeddon's an S tier card. I thought old Chilifant, even at like I think even Chilifant at 10 was like an S tier card, like in olden days. Was it 12 too? Was it 11? I think Chilifant was 11. That felt like an S tier card almost. So I think Chiligeddon's super strong. And I think what makes it strong is the early game when you can get it off before you have to trash 2, especially. Dizzy Chili. The heat. What's funny is the heat on Dizzy Chili doesn't really matter that much, because you don't really get to actually get it. So, besides like random effects, so you can kind of choose whatever heat you want on it. Farmer Chili. One grill, draw one Chili if you have. And I know you were changing this to, I think, 3 heat and 12. I think that's still pretty weak. Because I think card draw is weak. So I think it could be buffed some still. I think it just needs more heat. Right? If I think that in the current game that I think I would give a vanilla draw 1 like 5.5 heat. And so with the extra draw effect, it could go up all the way up to 5. Flow Me has felt really good. And by really good, I mean it's fun. I don't think it's necessarily like the best play, but it's felt... People are happy to play this card as is. Chili Book. I wouldn't change it, but I think in practice it's weak and that's okay. Ghost Pepper. I think Ghost Peppers also felt weak. Is the way to solve that just more negative heat? Maybe. Chinchilli. I kind of feel like Chinchilli should eat it itself, like flavor-wise. Sort of like how Chippy does. Like Chippy targets the mildest. Also, I think the reveal for an opponent's hand off of Chippy is like kind of out of place. I felt that way about... I think you added in another reveal an opponent's hand effect. It was off of the new Witch, I think. That's another one that I think feels out of place to me. I'd rather they be reworked into ways that like don't reveal hand, just because I think that feels more elegant. If you can come up with something. Chameleons felt good. I think Chameleon's another one that at 2 heat, like Chameleon could use more heat. But it's so fun of a card that people are going to play it anyway. Same thing with like Glitch Chili, right? Like Glitch Chili is just no Glitch Chili is Glitch Chili is pretty strong. That's right. That's why Glitch Chili was nerfed to 0. Is because it was doing more than like a 3-heat chili could. Remember back when it had 3 heat? Man, good times. Cosmic Chili. When grilled, swap the hottest chili on your plate with the opponent's hottest chili on their plate. I don't know what you were thinking. Of course this is busted. It's the old frick. It's the old Spice Mancer's ability, and Spice Mancer, like, I think Spice Mancer at one point was Spice Mancer at 1.4. I know it was 3 for the longest time. Afterward, I feel like Spice Mancer was a card that could go down to 2 heat, and on this, like, I get that it's an 8 for like flavor of being cosmic, but I think if you want to have it be a high heat chili, it cannot have this ability on it. This ability is too strong. I think this ability could go on a 2-heat chili. When grilled, draw the top chili of their deck. That's feel good. I think Hobo is still a little. I think Hobo. This is better than a random draw because you know what it is. So, like, in theory, it could go up to 5 heat. 4 feels fine, though. Laser Cannon. I think Laser Cannon... I thought Laser Cannon was balanced at 3. So, this is another one where it's like, it has that range that I'm talking about. Like, 4, it feels good at 4, too. I'd say it's a little on the stronger side. Peach. When prepped, stack the top chili of the deck face down on this chili. I think on average it's like you get. I think the average prep chili goes off twice, right? The average heat is 3.5. So on average, this is 8 heat, and that is good. But I think the variance with it and the fact that you don't always get it down on that means that Peach could have more heat. I don't know how much more, but I think it could use more heat. Jesus. This felt funny and good. Maybe a little too... is 7 too much for Jesus? I think Jesus is one of the stronger prepping chilies just because of its heat. And I think that's a good thing. I might have too much. I'm not sure. I feel like it could be balanced at 6 too. Maybe even 5. When grilled, stack this chili under one of your chilies. If it now is cinnamon or heat chili, try one. I don't value draw that much, and so this is kind of just a worse great sword. Divin Chili, I think, is a little weak. Because even, I think on average you have 2, and so on average it's like a 7. But like a lot of the times you don't have it, but the flexibility is kind of fine. I think having it be 1 heat over 0 is good. I wouldn't change her. When prep to stack this chili on any plate. That's also felt weak. It feels like too weak to want to do to yourself. And, like, the main thing you'd want to do is overheat your opponent, and it's, like, not even enough to do that, really. I don't know. They get to see it coming, too. It's felt pretty weak. I might give it a... I think this would be a D. Chili glue. When dining, stack 2 random chilies from your hand under this chili. I think that's another pretty bad one. I think the only reason this effect has negative heat is because it's an igloo and not because the effect actually deserves -1 heat. I think with 2 random chilies from your hand... I mean, if we're saying the average chili is 3.5, I think that includes ones from your hand. So if anything, it should have 1 heat, the same way that pea chili does. And I think pea chili is weak. When grilled, trash all but 1 chili from your hand. I think he's felt good. I think flavor-wise, I might prefer him to have 10 heat and also just kill that last chili in your hand. Like, I think it's a fun thing to opt into, to trash your whole hand and have to top deck everything else you play. To me, that's fun. Maybe not to other people, but, like, even from, like, the first Chilijack playtest we were playing, there was, like, I think that's what old Chaos Chili did, right? And I thought that was a fun playstyle. I know it's not, like, skillful at all, because you're getting rid of all of the decision making, but, like, it's funny when it happens every once in a while. Divine Chili. Kind of needs... It's at 3 for flavor. I think, balance-wise, it could go up to 4, but it's 3 for, for flavor reasons. Franken Chili is felt good at 5. Fairy Chili. When grilled, choose each chili on your plate with 4 or less heat. Or from your... Sorry. From your hand... From your plate, stack a 4 or less heat chili on it and activate its grill ability. So, I mean, it's basically Chili Charger, except you get to add the 4 heat to it, and Chili Charger has 3 heat, so that doesn't make sense to me. I think that's... And I don't think Fairy's even unbalanced. I think that just makes the case that Chili Charger should go up to 4 heat. Possibly. Orangili. I think Orangili does what it's supposed to do at 3 heat. Sleepy. That's also felt good. Firefighter. You saw in the playtest today, they were confused why it draws a card. I was also honestly wondering that too. I think the ability is less flavorful than it used to be. I think balance-wise it's fine. But the ability doesn't feel as elegant for what a firefighter could be in this game, I think. Stray Cat. This felt... A Stray Cat does what Stray Cat does at 1. Stonks has felt good. Trenchcoat Chili is another one that I think... Is it 3? Yeah. It's fun, though. It is fun. I mean, you know my thoughts on it. I think it would be more balanced at stack 2. But, I know my brother definitely doesn't want it nerfed, obviously. TNT's felt good at 10. Hollow Chili. I think Hollow Chili could still go up to 6. Because, like, after the draw is already gone, it's like... Habanero, I think, feels a little weak. But it also does what it needs to do at 4. Holy chili, when grilled, stack, draw all stacked chilies on a chili on any plate. I think, yeah, on average, that's about 7 heat. Mount chili, even with the reworked ability of having I think even with the stacking of another chili onto another chili on your plate, 12 heat is just too much. When dining, treasure chili, yep, felt good. Ninja, that's all good. Ninja could be 2 or 3. I think we know that, didn't it? Like, we tried it at 3, right? And it felt... Did that feel too strong? I think I'd rather err on the side of each chili being too strong. Each chili not being too strong. I'd rather err on the side of each chili being the strongest version of itself, and I think that in general means rounding up for heat values that would be in the middle. Like, I think Ninja Chili is one of those cards that, like, could be a 2.5 heat chili, and maybe that means we want to round up. Or, sorry, well... You know, it's bad in this case to swap. So I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know, is that why we had it at 3 before? Is because it felt too strong? And so we swap it. No, you're right. You're right. Applying what I'm saying, it should be 2. Point per popsicle. When prepped, swap with the random card in the hand. It's felt good. I think this is similar to Dizzy, where it's like the heat value on it doesn't matter as much because you want it to be. It's gonna swap. You want it to swap, so it should be low. But a random card in their hand is also, like, funny. I don't know if it's good. I think it would be 3.5, right, on average. That makes it kind of bad. But it's fun. And 2 feels about right. I could see it being 1, even, just for the sake of, like, making it so you want to activate it every time. Plus 1 is, like, the shape of a popsicle, almost. Eh? Convince you? Palm chili, when prepped. Swap this chili with this chili in an importance plate. That doesn't feel like a palm tree ability to me. That feels like Ninja. And I think you'd want it to have the same heat as Ninja for that reason. Oh, another comparison I was thinking earlier was for Chili Gambit with Samurai Shishido. Where did Gambit go? So it's like, remember how you're gonna have Samurai Shishido, like, draw a card if the destroyed card was 5 or more? Like, Chili Gambit sort of does that same thing. But it's like imagine Chili Gambit at 4. It's literally doing the exact same thing, except for, like, it has less heat. And I think Samurai Shishido. Would discard one to be. I still like it though. Santa. This feels. I mean, you're drawing too. Snowman. We talked about how it needs like pre-rework. Snowman, I think, is a. I think it does need to. And I want it to stack itself in the way that feels like it's building a snowman. So, like, I almost want it to stack onto the stack that the card you're pulling from is also going on to. That way it feels like you're building a snowman, because then it's like 1, 2, and 3. Ace of Chilies, of course. Best card in the game, almost. Senior Fuego. When grilled, activate the ability of all. I think we said we wanted Fuego to go back to 1. Chili Shoe, when prep charges later and played to summon rhythms. I do like. I like the RNG fixing of it. I think it could also have more heat though. Silly Chili. I think it either needs to have 1 heat and be for you, or -1 heat for your opponent. But like, I mean, we talked about how it needs to be on the field still. I know it's a weak card. I'm not sure if that means it should have less heat or not, though. Or more negative heat. I mean, Banana Pepper is literally just the old Cupid, right? So it's like, it should have 4 heat. Unless you thought old Cupid was strong. Which, I mean, I thought it felt about average. Spice Mancer. Spice Mancer feels like one of the better C's. I would give Spice Mancer a C+. Because it doesn't really do a whole lot on its own. Like, it's still just kind of a vanilla card, almost. Spoiled Milk does what it needs to. Spoiled Milk, by the way, I think is like... I think it feels balanced at 6, right? And I think that's why, in my head... Well, no, it's more just funny. What's in my head is I think if Ace of Chilies weren't an Ace of Chilies and just had the ability on any heat, I think 6 would be what I would choose. And so I think it's funny that that's about the same thing. Buff Chili. When grilled, stack this chili from your hand on stack chili from your hand onto this chili. If you compare it to Engineer, it seems pretty... It seems slightly worse than Engineer. To me. Should it be slightly better because you can hit the higher ones? Maybe. I think I just want Engineer nerfed. Even though that's about like the same thing. Cactus has felt good. Fisherman Chili. I don't know, you reworked this now. So like if I'm going off the reworked version where it's like that goes from the deck if you choose 4. I think it's a little weak still. Because, like, on average, you're just drawing... I think on average, most of the time, you're just drawing one. I mean, sorry, you're drawing... obviously, you're drawing one, because that's all you can pick. But, I mean, if you're choosing the... I think in practice, most of the time, I'm going to choose... for me, if I were playing Fisherman, like, early on in the game, I'm going to choose 3, because that's the most common. And if I'm choosing 3... that just makes him a worse Captain Blackheart. Which is kind of funny, because it's like a fisherman and a pirate. But I think that shows that Fisherman is weak. And for later on in the game, when you're trying to draw the exact heat you need on like turn... or when you have 3 chilies on your tray, I don't think it hits that often. I don't think that's... yeah, it just doesn't hit that often. So I don't put much strength in that ability. You know, and Captain Blackheart's revealed 6. So... super chilies feel good. Chili. Something about like the mechanics of chili has felt weird to me. I think because the stack happens first, right? Like most of the time, you're chillying. If you're chillying, the odds of that card you're stacking onto being the mildest goes up, and then you're returning that to their hand. That feels a little bit clunky to me. So I kind of want to rework this slightly. I'm not really sure how, though. Cayenne Cultist is full. Cayenne Cultist is a B. I think Cayenne Cultist could go up to 4. And that would bring back the 3, 4, 5, like with the summoners. Actually, yeah, if you compare this now directly to Great Chili Mage, like if you're just choosing hottest, then Great Chili Mage literally just has more heat than Cayenne Cultist and does the same thing. So Cayenne Cultist should go up in heat. Either heat or reveals, or both. Yeah, honestly, it kind of makes it kind of redundant. Maybe it needs a rework entirely then, just because it's like... Great Chili Mage does what Cayenne Cultist does, but better. I mean, yeah. Cayenne Cultist is weak now. In comparison, when grilled, trash an opponent's 3 or less each. Sorry, chili with less heat than this chili, then they draw 1 card. Compare that to Beely. Would it be too oppressive at 4? I think it would be okay at 4. Because then it's like always like a 7 heat swing. And that's, 7 is the benchmark, in my opinion. Sorta. Although there's something to be said about like eliminating synergies and whatnot in game plans. So, and I know you want it to combo with stuff like stacked chilies. Chili key. When dining, trash is on your plate. You may stack up to 3 chilies from your hand onto this chili. I think that's one that's felt okay. Cheesy. Cheesy's felt good. Because you never... Cheesy, maybe Cheesy is just another one of those cards that you're going to play because it feels good no matter what heat it has. So, because like, if I'm noticing the pattern that like I think prepping chilies as a whole are too low. And I think Cheesy's part of that. I mean, I think if you're going to take Cheesy, you know what? I'm talking myself into it. Because like, can take Cheesy and compare it to battery charger. It kind of does the same thing. So it should have at least 3 heat. When grilled, trash the chili from your plate to draw 2 chilies. Because I rate draw low. Trashing a chili on your plate. That's worth about, what did I say? 1 heat to lose the thing? Like if we're comparing it to... Well, that's not the same thing as Chili Gator. Because you're not losing the heat. I think trashing in general is worth about 2 heat, if I remember right. I think you could have a vanilla 5 heat chili and have it draw 2 and like that be balanced. Almost. It'd be strong, but it's like on the upper range. So I think you could either give Chiliopatra more heat or an extra draw. Maybe. Am I crazy? Chili Apprentice is full of... I think... Has it felt good since the change? Trash the chili on your plate to summon the top chili deck on your plate. If it's a grilling chili, you may activate its ability. I don't think Chili Apprentice has felt very strong anymore. Can you have it be a choose 2? And that way you more consistently get it off too? Because, you know, Chili Summoner's 3. Great Chili Mage is 5. Would it be okay to let Chili Apprentice just choose 2? And then you actually get to, like, be... It makes it way more likely for the grill effect to go off, and then you can actually, like, choose the grill. Instead of instead of just hitting, like, a dining effect chili. I think that might be fun. And Witch Chili is another one I know you just reworked to reveal hand. I don't think it should reveal hand. That doesn't feel elegant to me. It felt... Well, like, it was like old Firefighter almost, right? Where like, I think the initial Firefighter revealed from hand just to make sure that they were taking the mildest. I don't remember exactly what you're reworking it to, but... I almost lean towards just having it keep the polymorph effect in a strong way, but only having it target your own board. Because I think the feedback that we got a couple times was that it felt bad to have it be played against you in that way. And I think it might be fun enough on its own if you're just polymorphing one of your own guys to make them stronger. So it's like the original version of it was to be soft removal, but if that really does feel bad, like in that version was like target your opponent's hottest chili and someone reveal a... I think the original pitch I had was like reveal the top card of the deck, choose a chili on your opponent's tray with hot or heat and swap. Because the whole point was it's like polymorphing it to be smaller. And if you have it target your own tray, it's like you're opting into the RNG instead of having it used against you. Sort of like those big swings that you were talking about, where it's like if it goes from a chili dragon to like the chili cone, like that's gonna feel bad. But like if you're opting into that on your own board in the opposite direction, then maybe it's okay. So I'll just stick that there because I don't know where else to put the reworked version yet. And that should do her, I think. If there's any questions, don't hesitate to let me know.